It is recording. Are you doing your thing again?
Button here.
Crap.
Yeah.
Ran out of water.
All right, get your water.
No, it's fine. Fine.
I got some cold coffee. I didn't want iced coffee. It's not really ice, but it's about the same.
I drank my coffee before we started, and maybe I should have waited for that.
I need to make more cold brew. I haven't even gotten there yet.
Have you seen that there's you can get cold brew. What's the name of that thing again? It's like a Swiss drink. It's alcoholic. It's Jägermeister. Cold brew Jägermeister.
Ugh. Jägermeister's like drinking cough syrup.
I've never had Jägermeister, so I
Oh,
don't
it's
know.
not good.
No.
You don't drink it for its taste or its wonderful, flavorful quality. No, people drink it because it's just like drinking Drano. Don't drink Drano, people. Don't make that the 2021 thing. What was it? Tide Pods was on 2018 or something.
Yeah.
Let's not be drinking any cleaners, people.
Yeah. Like yeah. Maybe that's the cold open for today.
Yeah, let's not bring the stupid back for 2021.
Well, we survived 2020, so that's a good thing.
We got to survive this year too.
Do you even want to still do the introduction? We could stop doing the introduction. Maybe the introduction is just dumb.
All right, well then I'll just read it without any enthusiasm. You're listening to Polymatic, episode 76 for January 2021. Welcome to the new decade, everyone. Welcome to the Polymaticast. I'm Alan. I like this. We should just do it this way.
It saves a lot of acting.
No. What are you gonna do with the introduction music? Because I kind of like that. That was good stuff.
Okay.
Well, let's leave it that way. Let's do some new stuff in 2021.
Yeah.
Let's keep it this way. Hi, everyone. How
Hello.
you doing, John? I already know how you're doing. We talked for like 2 hours already.
Like 90 minutes, I guess.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, look, it's not any secret. John and I actually, we talk to each other all the time, but we actually don't like actually talk to each other. And since he's got, I don't know, plenty of Mac devices and at least an iPhone and Android, we don't do what most people, we don't FaceTime or anything like that. So it's not, just isn't the thing that we do. We just we chat over not WhatsApp.
Yeah. We use Telegram because Telegram is better.
Yeah. So yeah, we talk all the time, but like, for us to sit down and actually chat about things. And I think uniquely given kind of our professions, even though we sort of work in IT, software, technology, that kind of stuff, but we work in completely different polar areas of it.
Yeah.
I think there are fundamentally relatable things that only like people of that sort of in that area can kind of openly talk about. So sometimes we talk about those things. Sometimes that's just a bunch of geeky stuff. Sometimes it's a bunch of audio gear, photography, and we do that sort of out of this recording because when we're just talking about stuff, catching up. So that is kind of what the thing we never record is about before we actually record this.
Yeah. So since 2020 was like the dumpster fire that it was.
Yeah.
I'm considering what kind of nuclear explosion this is going to be 2021 because like it has to be worse. Right? The first week has already been worse.
Yeah.
I think like we're still in lockdown. We're going into harder lockdown over here. It's just I don't know anymore. I'm just going to be stuck in my house for the next 10 years.
I mean, look, there are some vaccines that are coming. So, I mean, that's going to bring some hope for people. I think that's also going to cause people to sort of lax up. I mean, there definitely are people who aren't really caring today. And now they're just going to be
their second dose, they're going to be fine, right?
Right.
And they're going to be fine to go outside.
And we hope. We got to see what the effects of sort of, what the vaccine does on a much larger scope of people, right? I mean, but the difference is with the way most vaccines typically work is what they do is they give you sort of a dead version of the virus,
Yeah, no,
and
this is a different kind of virus.
right,
They have a
then this
different
is
kind
a
of
different one where
vaccine.
they're giving
Yeah,
you the antibodies, and
yeah.
your body will be capable of defending
They
itself
they
because
don't give you the antibodies. They give you an RNA sequence
right,
that produces
or produces the
the
antibodies or
no,
something
it
like
doesn't
that.
produce the antibodies. It produces the spikes.
Oh, it does
So
it?
yeah, and then the spikes on the coronavirus
Mm-hmm.
that it uses to get into other cells,
Break into the
into
cells,
cells,
yeah, yeah.
it just produces those spikes. So the body decides that, oh wait, that's bad stuff. We should probably be on the lookout for this,
Mm.
and then that's why you need two doses, because it like attacks it and like cleans it up basically.
Mm.
So yeah.
Well, so the big issue here is that it's a different kind of a vaccine, and maybe this is, I don't know if it's the first of its kind, but it's certainly historically one of the first cases of doing this
Yeah, it's
at
probably
a
this
large
is the first. I think
scope.
this was the first one, but then again, I'm not like.
Right, we're not experts on this subject, but the important note is it's different, and this might be a positive way forward for when cases like this, when we need this kind of vaccine for other things. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I just hope that the that I get the vaccine before I go like on my pension or something, because like
Oh.
it's not going fast at all. Like they are going to vaccinate the first 200,000 this month,
Mm-hmm.
but like at that rate, we won't even have like coverage, or like we at the end of the year we might have coverage for like a million people, 1.2 million maybe.
Yeah.
Like
But when
it's
you
not
think
enough.
about it, if this is really effective, historically, we've never worked this fast as a society about anything, really.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
I mean,
Anyway,
yeah. So, look, you know what? I think 2021 has the potential to be a milestone,
I wonder
a
what we
landmark.
said. I wonder what we said at the beginning of 2020.
Oh, who knows? You're gonna have to go back through that,
Oh, I
find
should
that.
have beforehand.
Yeah. Uh,
I could like really quickly open up the file and just have a
toss
look.
in, throw it in the edit.
Let me just see. I have it here.
Insert here. Yeah.
Yeah. We were very positive about 2020.
Well, we were hopeful. Look, 2020 was sort of like a neat year number. It was easy to type and everything, but it was not easy to experience. I already heard the sort of the bad joke is like, hindsight 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you know what? The sad part is I think society will rewrite the meaning of what it means to look at something, the perspective of 2020, hindsight is
You know what?
2020 is referencing vision. It's not, the clarity of perspective and vision, right? It's not
Do you know what the subject for the first episode of 2020 was?
no. No
No,
idea.
it actually wasn't the first episode. I think we did two episodes that month.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, we did Rise of Skywalker,
Mm,
but that's like on the end of the month,
okay.
and then we did Alan is a tortured man.
Oh, yeah, that was my December of 2019 was not good.
Yeah, yeah. That
Which
was like that was released. I think it was released at the end of the year.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
that's
was not it
2019.
was a terrible month for me. But what with the release of that, at least the benefit of that is I was hanging out with friends for that New Year weekend.
Mm.
Um, and so we didn't get it this year. Uh,
Last movie I watched in the theater was Rise of Skywalker, and I'm really bummed
I
about that.
I feel like it had been something else, but I can't remember. I don't
But
know. I mean,
basically after that, everything went into. Okay, I think that was the last movie I saw in the theaters. I
yeah,
haven't been to a theater yet since.
for me, going into a theater was always a social experience. It was never something I kind of did on my own when I could just go over to the movie theater. There was a period of time in my life where I would do that, where my friends were like, "No, I already saw it," and I was like, "I wanted to see it in the movie theater," and I would just go on a Saturday morning. I would go see it myself. Um, but for me, going to a movie theater was always a social experience. It's like I'll
Yeah.
call up my buddy Matt, or people who like to go see movies in a movie theater. The only problem with Matt is he's open to seeing it for like the fifth time. Whatever the movie's like, oh, he didn't like held you hostage over. Oh no, I've already seen it. He's like, no, I'll go see the movie with you. He's like, you want to go to the new one over here? And I was like, okay, let's go try that, right? And it was a social thing to do.
Yeah.
Um, but for
I don't
me,
I don't know
I'm
how.
happy just putting my wireless headphones on and looking at my 34-inch wide, ultra wide screen and watching it at home too. You know.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I saw Tenet recently, and I
Mm.
was like, yeah, maybe this would have been nice on the big screen. I
I
understand that, but like, I don't think the movie theaters are going to survive. I think like even the Regal thing. I think Regal got into trouble.
mhm.
They're like closed down. I think
I
completely.
think the sort of I don't know was never a secret to me because I knew people who sort of worked in movie theaters, but movie theaters are sort of on their edge of not. They were sort of walking a fine line, anyways. Um,
Yep.
for years, we're not probably maybe in their sort of the peak of their days, or maybe the 80s, maybe somewhere in the 90s, but basically in the 2000s we had lots of streaming entertainment, and that had been very much a downfall for a lot of movie theaters. The movie theater experience was not worth as much anymore, and the way movie theater businesses were really making any revenue was just high price, popcorn and pretzel bites and hot dogs and all the amenities and candy and stuff like that. Um,
But did they really make money off that?
they made enough to be so the way it's wired up is that basically the movie companies they get the first 3 weeks of profit,
Wow.
and then the rest is available to the movie theaters. Basically, lease the film,
But then
and
they like,
then there are some cases where they have to negotiate it after a certain time. So, for example, when you have like big movies that run forever, like Titanic did or Avatar, it is not pure profit completely for the movie theater companies.
mm,
There is at some point like they can only lease it for like 2 months or something like that. And at the end of that, they have to renegotiate that with the film, movie companies. You're basically Hollywood, and the film companies um, then determine the profit share.
mm.
So the reason that popcorn costs $6 for something that's like, at home is, about the size of your the thing you get in out of the microwave, um,
Yeah,
is
probably tastes better too.
uh,
Because
is
some
so
kid hasn't
expensive is
been.
because they were just getting their margins on that. So after those first 3 weeks, so every time there was a risk a movie flopped, basically Hollywood is just recouping the money it spent, and usually when they spread it internationally, they always break even, but they're always looking for like triple, quadruple the profit. It used to be the films that made $100 million only cost 10 million to make. Now we have 100 million films that are grossing. They're making that much money back at an international level, but they don't make as much money as you think they do in the theaters. And the first 3 weeks, the movie theater companies are basically floating credit.
Mhm. Well, I think as soon as like the things go back to relatively normal, I
Hmm.
think that the movie theaters are gonna still be like hurting.
Oh, sure.
They're not gonna come back in the same way that
I
they
think,
used to be there.
yeah, so I think here in the US, I think Regal, so you mentioned that they're not doing well.
Yeah, I heard that
Um,
they were basically dead.
I think AMC is the only one I think is doing okay. I don't know. I don't know if it makes any sense. Again, like I said, per the rant, movie theater, going to a movies was always a social experience. You know, with your girlfriend, with your wife, with your parents, your friends, whatever. It was, for me, it was always a social experience. It was never the thing to go do to get out of the house and do with friends. It was never about like me to go see it in a movie theater, because I'm satisfied with the experience large enough at home. You know,
Mm.
uh, I mean, I watched the Wonder Woman '84 movie.
Yeah, I can't really
Um,
because we don't really have an HBO thing here. You can't really get it without like getting a cable subscription. I don't want a cable subscription because I
oh,
don't watch TV.
well, I have HBO Max, so that's how I saw it because of Warner Brothers and HBO. Um, they made that decision to release a bunch of their movies that were in production exclusively there for free. Um, so so yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that all turns out. Um, it was always a good positive experience to go to a movie theater with friends.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I remember
But
seeing Avatar.
have you tried any of the watch party stuff?
I haven't really, but you have to have
I
like an
don't.
Amazon Prime thing.
Yeah,
Um,
I have Prime.
yeah,
So
and I thought maybe we could do that with like OG, maybe. Um, but I haven't done any of that. I know some other communities where they have like movie night or anime club or something like that, where they do some version of that, where there's some other sites where the person who owns it can stream it and everyone can participate. I don't know
well,
that those are the social experiences that we're like. It'll never compare to going to the movie theater and eating eating a
I
bunch
don't.
of food, sitting in a
I'm
big
annoyed by people doing that kind of stuff,
yeah.
like making eating noises. But like it could be fun to like watch it with like family or
Mhm.
something.
Look, I think going in and watching a bunch of AMVs alone is one thing. Watching it with your friends while we were doing the judging is a different thing. And then also watching it with a crowd of 2,000 people at an anime convention is a whole different experience. Uh,
Mm.
it could be a
Do you,
terrible music video, but we all get the same joke at the same time. It might not be the joke that the creator intended, but it's the one we all collectively laugh at. And so there's something to be said about that's why I said that always a social experience for me. It was never a thing I like to do alone, you know.
do you think that the anime conventions and stuff are going to come back at some point?
That's interesting.
I
I
wonder how many
think
are going to survive because most of these are like
yeah, I can't speak to Otakon. Whether I know something or not, I can't speak to that. Um,
I
so it'll
wasn't
be
asking that.
interesting. I know you didn't ask me, but like, for those who know who I am, know that I have some relationship and I'm staff to Otakon, and I do technically represent them, even if I'm not speaking for them. So
I'm talking
I,
about anime conventions and conventions in general because like
right. But I was just going to the place where I might know something or think about the anime convention I think about the most is them because I'm part of it.
well
So
like for example CES is going digital this year.
yeah, yeah.
It's like does it even matter that it exists? It doesn't need to exist anymore because everybody can do their own little online thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean
Yeah.
like Apple and
I,
Google and other
I,
places, they've proven that they can do that and just online. Just do it online.
yeah, and I think that goes back to the way I think about it with movie theaters. It's a social experience, you know.
Yeah.
So you take that component away, it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't have that same appeal. So, is the idea of a movie theater going to go away completely? No. Will they be able to financially survive? I think you make a good point, and the answer is probably no. But I also know that they weren't in good shape before because Hollywood was taking advantage of the situation. They were taking all the revenue basically collected, right up front. So
For movie theaters,
I
yeah.
think it gives the movie theaters, if any still survive, an opportunity to negotiate with Hollywood in a way that they couldn't do before because they have some leverage unless Hollywood doesn't want to value movie theaters anymore. And maybe it won't be 2,000 movie theaters in the US. Maybe it'll be 200. Maybe it'll be a few, and not many.
The whole system where there's like it's an appointment to go to, right? And then
Mhm.
and I think that all the travel you see with you used to see with like conventions and stuff,
Mhm.
I think that's going to go away. I mean, less people are going to travel in the next coming years
Well,
because
I definitely think conventions, their appeal is because they exist, um and because they exist, like for me, it was also anime conventions. Aside from staffing, was always a social experience. Also, even as staff, it was always a social experience. So I think that right there is what makes anime conventions great. Whatever your local one, it's that social experience. It's hanging out with friends. It's seeing people's cosplay, not just seeing it on Instagram, but seeing it in
yeah.
person, taking your own picture, being in the same room, watching a premiere of a movie, and laughing together and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
but then like in a couple of years we're going to have another one of these scares and it's like this is just going to keep on happening, right? Unless we desperately change something about the way um we travel and the way we
We get smarter about it.
yeah, I don't think so. As humans, we're pretty dumb when it comes to that kind of stuff. We've
Yeah, I
been
mean,
doing this
look,
for years, and it's a
yeah,
wonder it hasn't happened before.
the historical evidence is against us, and and that is also,
How we
we have
got
also been able to live in a world where we didn't have to actively think about anything. We have so many devices that do all that work for us. You just ask Google, you just ask Amazon, you just ask Siri, and they'll tell you whatever.
we
And
got here with dumb luck.
yeah,
That's the thing.
well, we're here because we're here. We're still here, and so we're not getting smarter as a not as a society, but like as a as a species. We're not getting smarter because we are not actively being smart, um or not looking to be smart, not continually aspiring to continue to be smarter. But that's not true about everybody, right? But you can see how we've handled this. And I don't know. I mean, the way people handled it versus the way our collective governments handled it, I think is completely different. I don't think our governments represent what the species believes, right? I think that's a difference. The
Mm.
few don't represent the many. The many have a different collective perspective than the few do. And so how we responded is based on the few, not based on the many.
Speaking of smart things, I heard you got a mug.
Oh, I'm holding it. It's finally warm now.
You get the Ember mug.
I bought two of them actually. So I bought the first one, which was too small, and I didn't realize it was only 10
Let's
ounce.
let's let's tell people what the Ember mug is. The Ember mug is a smart mug.
It is a smart mug. It has an app, and it will, for about 90 minutes, it will keep your you whatever your beverage is, warm or hot.
Yeah.
I look. The reason I spent the money on it is because this was a gift to myself, and then I liked it so much. I thought I really want the larger one. The larger one is only 14 ounces. I like to drink out of 16 or 18 ounce. Like when I have a hot beverage, I like to be drinking that thing for a while.
Mm.
But the problem is keeping it hot, right? And You make yourself some fresh coffee, and it's warm, and it might, depending on your environment in which it's staying warm. It might be warm for 20 minutes, or hot cocoa or tea or whatever. It's only warm for a little bit, and then once you start drinking it, especially if I'm drinking a hot beverage during my day, well, that's a problem because it's cold. And then what are you gonna do? You're
Doesn't
gonna go
it doesn't it
reheat it?
change your doesn't it change taste if you keep it
No,
warm for that long?
nope, not at all.
Hmm.
No. And so here's the thing: is this thing is warm. I don't want to open up the app because it makes a really loud noise when I
I
open it up.
noticed. Yes.
Uh, but I told it to set it to 145 degrees to get it to warm up, and then I'll lower it to about 130, 132. This is Fahrenheit, that is. I don't know what that is in Celsius because
Yeah,
I'm a
but
dumb American.
100 is around 38.
Okay.
Mm.
So here's the thing. If I was to get like a $10, coffee warmer, right? Even if you get USB or plug in, whatever it is, it heats the whole mug up. So the mug is hot to touch. But see, the beverage is warm, but the mug is fine. And
Mm.
so that's the other thing is where I was like, this is the problem that I'm always irritated by, but I needed to solve, or I wanted to solve. And what do you do? When in the office, I would see people would just be reheating their coffee all the time in the microwave. Um, or they would just give up and make fresh coffee. And so, like, that's an irritating process. But it's been great to be able to just reach over and just sip my perfectly warm coffee all day.
Yeah. So Polymatic link slash WY for the Ember mug.
Did I link that?
To
I didn't link that. You
I
linked it.
did. I did. I did. I was like, I was just typey while you were talking.
Yeah, they have a travel mug, which is godly awfully
Could they even?
expensive.
Would they even allow that on a plane?
Oh, I don't know, but I mean it's good for if you're like in your car. But the thing is, I looked at it last night just out of curiosity. It's only 10 ounces, and that's nothing. I'm like 16 ounces, 2 cup kind of whatever whether it's tea or whether it's coffee or hot
Your
cocoa,
caffeine infusion.
whatever it is. That's kind of the where I start, right, when I'm sipping away. Coffee, probably my max is like 2 cups, but like tea, I could be drinking that all day,
Mm.
especially when the house is super cold and I'm working from home, and even when the heat is struggling to keep the house warm when it's not warm outside, you know, a nice little warm cup of something is good.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I last December,
yeah.
we had the call on the 5th. Like we recorded on the 5th and I released it on the 31st. And that's mainly because I've been very busy the last 30 like the last 6 months
Yeah.
doing book stuff, and I finally finished it. Um I've got some text to write. That's about it. Just some finish up finish up story and finish up the little introductions, the back cover and stuff like that. And I gave myself a gift on the 24th. Actually, a little bit before. I think the 22nd we got paid, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we got a bonus." So I bought myself a stand for a Cintiq for
Yeah.
$600.
And you were talking about this whole time and like other ways to get around it, and now you finally did it. And are you happy with it?
I'm very happy with it. I'm
Yeah.
just
Okay.
very angry that it costs so much.
Yeah.
It's $600 for a stand is way too much. I understand why it's this expensive. Sorry. I understand why it's this expensive, but oh man.
It's the same thing with
It saves my back so much because I can put it in any angle I want. The only thing I have with the problem I have with it is that like from what I understood is that you could move the tablet up and down and it would stay at that angle, but it doesn't.
hmm
So I probably need to find a way to because I would like to have it off the desk, right? But you can only do that if you move it all the way up, then it clicks and it stays there.
Can you So I don't know what this thing physically looks like, so I can't envision that. But could you? Okay, so what's the collective
Polymatic.link/WX.
weight with the stand and or also
Oh,
the
the
Cintiq?
tablet is freaking heavy.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's that's probably the reason why. But like,
I mean, like, what's the pounds on it?
I don't know. I don't know.
So
I
where
don't
was
do freedom units.
what I was going with it was, um, I got it. The generic one from Amazon's better than this heavy duty one I'm sitting over there, which was not great.
Heavy duty
Which
what?
heavy duty monitor arm.
Oh, okay.
So I was thinking, like, is it so my 34-inch is like
So
25
there is an official
25 pounds or
Wacom.
something, and the Amazon monitor arm that I bought. Now, I mean, I would like it to get a little closer to me, but given what it does a significant job holding that monitor up with no problem. Even though it's like maybe on the edge of the weight capacity it can handle. And I'm wondering if could you connect the Cintiq to that? Is it that heavy?
So the specific stand for Wacom does produce some wobble, and that's it. You don't want to do that when you're drawing. So,
Yeah.
but like I like the way the angle I can put it in right now. It does save my neck and my back. When I was doing it with I had the glass thing that I put the tablet on. That was already a little bit better than it was just on the manga collection books that I had it on, or the on the desk with just the normal feet.
Yeah.
I'm just very annoyed at the way that Wacom handles this. They should just include the stand in the deal. Like make it $200 more. I think maybe 200 is the correct amount of money for this stand because that's what they I think they sell it like a combo pack for like 2,500. So I think maybe maybe 400 is the correct price for the stand. And if I do look on the international websites, like on the American site, it does say something like 400 something. And over here, you have to spend like $600 for it, €600 to get that stand,
Yeah.
which is
Is
on
it
top of
worth?
the €2,150 that it already costs for the tablet,
Yeah, I
which
mean,
is
is
insane.
is the quality or the metal or the engineering, whatever it is of
Oh,
that
it's
stand,
wonderful.
is it worth
It's
that
wonderful.
amount of
I don't know
money?
if it's worth it.
Yeah.
I think I could probably spend the time and build a better one, like design my own and make it better.
Right. So let me qualify worth. I I was saying in terms of quality of parts, not its value. Is it worth $600 in value of the
Oh,
problem that it
it's
solves?
heavy. It's
Yeah.
really heavy. It's
So
like
if it solves $600 worth of a problem for you, that's wonderful. This Ember mug, by example, it solves this problem incredibly well, uh, and it's well built. It's really nice. It really is.
how much
Is
how
it
much is
worth
it?
that in the cost of electronics and service? I don't know about that, but
How much is the mug?
this mug that I'm holding, the 10-ounce one that I got on Amazon, is $130. Yeah, and yeah, I said the same thing, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna spend a little bit of money on myself and see if this is a waste of money or not. Turns out it's expensive, but it does a really good job. In fact, I got two of them. So the 10-ounce one's like a $10, $20 difference depending on where you buy it, and I bought a couple more of their charging coasters. So it's solving this problem really well. Did I spend too much money on these things? Yeah. Is it doing a really good job of doing it? Yeah. I
Hmm.
can't complain about that part. The only thing I would complain is I wish on battery it would just last longer. That's it.
Yeah.
But is it
So
worth $130 worth of value in the problem that it solves? Not yet. Maybe through this year it will merit itself $130 in value. Um, yeah.
I put my old desk back into my workspace.
Okay.
That
Why'd you take it out to begin with? What
I
was the
took it out
problem?
because I wanted to have the three standing desks in there,
Okay.
and I wanted to do the standing desk on the I wanted to put the Cintiq on there on one of the standing desks, so I could able could just move the desk up and down, so I wouldn't have that much trouble with my neck. And standing is better, but drawing standing is kind of annoying. So eventually, I just decided, okay, I'm just gonna sit. Just take more walking breaks. Like just listen to my watch saying, "Hey, you have to stand up."
Yeah.
It does. It's very nice though. I like the Apple Watch for that because it
Mm-hmm.
just keeps complaining, "Hey, you have to stand up." So that's good. Um, but I put the desk back because I was reorganizing and I wanted to have the. I initially put the stand and the Cintiq on one of the standing desks, but they're IKEA desks, and the for some reason, if you raise the desk, it gets really wobbly, and even because I'm taller than most people,
Okay, got you.
like for like me, right? You've seen me in the States, and like I'm taller than most people there,
Yeah, you're
six
average what, six
something,
two, something like that.
yeah, and it's like that means that I do need like more space. Like my desk is higher than most people, and
Mm-hmm.
like over here in the Netherlands, I'm tiny, by the way. Just a tiny
Yeah,
little guy.
so like I looked up and just out of curiosity, I never consider myself short. I'm 5'6", 5'6". I never consider myself short. And but I definitely went to high school with people who are six. It wasn't the average of 6 feet, but as an adult, I know more people who are much taller than me, and people are like, "Oh yeah, you're short," and I'm like, I never thought I was short. And then I looked up the average in all of the U.S., and I think it's like 5'5", and
Five
in
nine.
state of Pennsylvania, I think I don't know if it's 6 or something, but like five something is the height, which doesn't necessarily. I consider someone who's 5 feet or 4 feet short. I definitely consider them short, but I never, as 5'5", consider myself short. Um, and I mean, I had plenty of people that are roughly my height. But if we go to Europe, no, I'm short. I'm tiny. I'm tiny
It's just
compared
so
to
funny that like
yeah.
I think it's over here in the Netherlands. I think it's the milk. We drink milk like it's water.
Uh, yeah, and it might be just because collectively the how bad the American diet is. It's very narcissistic. I mean, there's sugar and everything, but we don't eat naturally. We eat processed.
Yeah.
Everything we eat is processed.
So my brother is 6'5". That
Yeah,
makes sense. But he's a bit taller than I
yeah.
am.
Uh, Bryce is like 6'3" or something like that.
Mm.
Vic is like 6'3". Like I know people who are 6 foot something, but for me, I don't know. I never thought
Mm.
my father's 5'10". My sister's like 5'8". My mother is shorter than me, but I think as an adult, as a human, she's always been shrinking. Like I
Mm.
never not seen my mother
Yeah, I
be
wonder if
short.
I've shrunk yet.
No, I mean I see the doctor because I'm diabetic. I have to see my doctor every few months. I'm same height. I'm no shrinking on my part,
Hmm.
but also I sit
Well,
all day.
mostly because I've been sitting and like bending over my tablet and stuff, so it's like, eh.
Oh yeah, got ya. Yeah, I understand.
But like, I
It's
put I put the old desk back in, and I think I'm gonna maybe I might build myself a desk.
yeah.
I saw the thing that Evan and Caitlin did with like the aluminum extrusion,
Oh yeah.
and
I looked at doing stuff like that, and it's so expensive. It's incredibly
what?
expensive.
No, 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 it's not that expensive.
Oh yeah, no, it's expensive. Once you
The
start
aluminum
looking at
extrusion is
like
actually pretty cheap.
putting that stuff together, it's much more. There are some places that will build the furniture for you.
Yeah, what I'm thinking is like getting, like I know I want to have access to my window, and
Yeah.
I need to have some sort of way to get there, like, um, like to put like for example an AC unit.
Mm.
I bought an AC this year, and I'm considering like mounting it like in the corner of
Mm-hmm.
the. It's not a mountable one, but I can probably figure out a way to do that. But I'm really interested in like building my own desk probably this year somewhere. And I
Okay.
might actually maybe make a video out of that.
If I
That
was
might
to
be a
build a
good idea.
workshop, the aluminum extrusion things, like that might be a good way of building like a desk like that, with something like that, you know, on
Yeah,
my own.
I want to do this because like I whenever I go to IKEA, the IKEA desks are always just not right. They're just
Mm-hmm.
they're not the right size. That's because they need to make one for the median, like they need to make one for everybody.
Right. Yeah.
And
The
they're
one
good.
I
I can
got,
say they're cheap, but they're also pretty good for what they
yeah.
are.
So
Um,
the one I got from Foley is really good, really quality. I will say those feet I think can hold a lot of weight. Those things are heavy. I mean heavy. So and Foley will sell you the parts, and they'll also sell you the tabletops. And also the other reason is they had a larger desk, which is perfect for what I needed. They have a larger desk compared to what like IKEA has available. So, you could get heavy feet from, and there's more than one company that makes these like standing desks. So you can buy the parts and accessories that you want, and maybe you get a custom tabletop
yeah.
slab
So
created.
that's what I wanted to do. Like I saw what
Yeah,
Evan and Caitlin did with their desk, and like,
yeah.
okay, that's actually pretty cool. I kind of want to do that. Not that I want to have a resin covered desk, is that they do everything with resin.
No, and
Because
that's cool. I'm glad they do it, but I don't think I could.
yeah,
Look, even if I go buy a place of my own, I'm not gonna have room for a workshop. I'm gonna have room for a garage to put my car in, right? I'm gonna have plenty of room in the house, but no part of it is gonna. I imagine I'm gonna create a workshop. My father apparently has a workshop. I never use it. I'm sure he's kind of mad at me for never using this workshop that he has. Like he can't share in that bonding experience with me or something, but I have one accessible to me if I need to like build something, like
yeah,
that. He's got lots of tools.
yeah.
Mm.
So there's like several companies that sell like uh the way they have like a package with like you want a specific size of desk, but they have like all the parts that you will need, and all you have to
Mm-hmm.
do is just change the sizes. Like
Yeah.
if you want to make it like 10 centimeters wider, that's fine. That's really cool. I just want
Yeah,
to do
and
one
I
of those.
know I know when I looked at standing desks, I mean, I looked at IKEA first because it was easily accessible. Like, oh, I just go get it, and I don't have to order it and wait like 4 weeks. And also the pricing is pretty good on it. But what I found out is a lot of these places that make them, they'll sell you the solution.
Mm,
They'll also just sell you the parts.
yeah,
If I want to go to Fully and I can tell you at least the feet, that have all the motor and stuff on it, they're heavy duty. Uh, Now, would you stick them in a workshop, in a wood shop or something like that? I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't. You wouldn't put a tabletop and have it expect to hold a car, right? But it can hold your several hundred pounds of weight on top of it if you need. They're that sturdy, so and that heavy duty. Um, Even and I don't raise my desk up. I literally got it at like at the height I like. Uh, and I don't really adjust it that much. But given for what it is, uh, yeah, it's not desk is not wobbly at all, right?
yeah,
I'm more likely to fall over before the desk will.
yeah. Anyway, so I am probably doing that this year somewhere.
Oh, okay, cool.
Hmm.
So, so, so here's the thing.
Book is finished.
Save, clip that now. So,
What?
so in 2022, you go. Okay, did I do that?
Yeah. So last year I was listening to Cortex, which is a podcast that I follow.
Yeah.
And they have this the theme system where they do themes per quarter and per year.
Mm-hmm.
So you have an overall theme per year, and then you have a theme for for every season, as they like to repeat. uh, they last themes they didn't get as much done, right, because of the COVID thing. Because everybody planned something different than they eventually started doing. So, and for me, the same thing. But I was very happy that I finished the book, at least somewhere near the new year. I was mostly done on New Year's Day. Actually, it was because there were days there that I just didn't want to do something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Right.
I understand. You have time off and you just need to decompress.
Yep.
And
And
then
actually,
you,
I don't think I got that much um, decompression out of it. Like I think I missed a lot of the days off last year because they weren't days off. Because whenever
mm-hmm.
I was working from home, I would still get people asking me questions. Like, so there's
Yeah. I have projects that are outside of work. At least with this job, I've not had a lot. At least with the new job, I've not had a lot of like it evading too much into my personal life. The boundary is
lucky.
has been pretty good so far. And I think that's also due to the fact that they were shifting and changing their production stuff, and they've been sort of shifting and changing who gets access to that. And the first few people have gotten access to that. So my coworker, sort of one of my coworkers, has gotten the access. So he's the one who gets the production calls over the weekend and the night. And I was like, oh, thank God, I don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
Well,
But I think that day's going to end for me. I don't think it's going to be forever. So
this year has been the year of me not getting my uh like I don't know if there's a term for it in the US. It's like you get money for being on call.
oh, okay, yeah. So I've I've historically throughout the 20 plus 25, I don't even know how long I've been working, 26 years, I don't even know. I've had plenty of places where I've always on call, and
Yeah.
then they have an on-call escalation team who gets paid a little extra, for having the phone, having the pager, having the whatever every month.
Yeah,
Um,
so this year I got they got rid of that because I was like, okay, you now have other people here to do that.
yeah.
That is their problem now. I still
Hmm.
get calls, by the way.
Yeah, well, where I was gonna go with where I was trying to go to the quickly end of the tangent was I would get called by the people who were on call.
Yeah, yeah,
I'd be
yeah,
that
yeah.
person who would
Yeah,
get
but like,
called by the people on call, and I wouldn't ever get extra money for it, ever.
yeah,
It
but
was just
the
like
thing is that
built
you're not.
into the expectation that I was always going to be available 24/7.
Yeah,
Like, no,
like
you don't get to have a personal life. You have to have all company life.
I couldn't enjoy the not being on call anymore 24/7 um feeling because of the Rona. So that was kind of annoying, but like I'm looking forward to enjoying that this year. Even though it did cut me down some money, so I didn't have that much. It wasn't. They do pay me for that, but like wasn't that much money.
Yeah,
But
the one place that I think where we got that, we get paid very little. I think the one place it was the highest, and the only reason it came up was we had another group that was getting paid a bunch of money, and every week they had a new individual in their group, had sort of not the pager. Well, I guess they actually literally at that time just had a pager, that they would get, they could get several $100s for that week extra in their paycheck.
yeah,
Um,
I
but
got I
uh,
got that. No, 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 no,
but
no, no.
I'm
That's just
talking about this is in the like 2000s. So actually surprisingly, the amount of money back then and the amount of money now,
I'm saying I wouldn't get that much for the
right.
entire month on 24/7 on
Right.
call.
So what they did is I said, "Oh, I heard that this group is getting paid and they're, every week they're, whoever is responsible for the thing and da da da, and they're getting paid." And it's like, "Why don't is that a company thing or why isn't our group getting paid?" And he goes, "Oh, I didn't know that." And then my boss at the time went and argued for it, and they're like, "Okay, fine." But they didn't pay us per week. They paid us per month, and by the time it got taxed, it was like
Yeah.
nothing. And then maybe the last place, I think for a moment we did that, and again by the time it got taxed, it was like $20,
Yeah.
and it was me having to do like every 2 months or something, and it didn't matter because the people that were on call still called me.
Mm.
So yeah.
Well, for the amount of times that I did get called, it wasn't that much. It was just
Oh
like the
yeah. No,
stress of like being on call, like
I get
being
called a lot.
responsible for it. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I agree with that. You
mm.
would rewrite your life so that even when I was at a convention, I was still carrying my work laptop. And this is
Yeah.
supposed to be my vacation time, but the expectation
Yeah.
is that I have to carry my work laptop, which means that you can never take a vacation. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I
Yep.
set the
Yep.
boundary. I said, I am absolutely not going to do that. And they're like, yes, you are. I said, no, I am not. You are violating my personal time.
So
So
that was during the like
that
when
was,
I was going to Google I/O, like during those times, I was like on call.
oh, yeah.
That sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there has to be a boundary, I think. Yeah. But anyhow, grapes aside, that's work life.
Yeah. I
That's
just
not
hope,
personal
hope
life.
that 2021 is going to be better for that. Anyway,
Yeah.
uh, doing. Oh yeah. The book was finished. Got that. I sent you the cover.
Yeah.
And I have a couple of things that left to finish on that, and then I'll be happy posting things. I might have like a
Release it to
work
the
sit.
world.
What?
Release it to the world.
Yeah, that's still going to be an issue because everything here is closed. So if
Mm-hmm.
I if I go down this route a little bit, there's several things that are problematic right now because I can get them printed. I can get them delivered to my house, but then sending them out is going to be an issue
Mm-hmm.
because everything is closed. Now I know there's still stores that do allow me to send stuff, but they're like further away than the normal place I do that at, and that one is closed. So, um,
Yeah, I would say even things that I order online, I commission something, and the the December holiday rush was complicated it, but then furthermore, the whole situation worldwide also complicated things, and now the thing that I've been waiting for like a month finally is going to show up, I think, on Monday. Um, but yeah, I mean, everything is slowed as a result of
well,
everything going
and
on.
over there, not everything is locked down, right?
Yeah.
There is no lockdown, right?
Uh, there is,
Well,
but
there isn't not
it's
much
not as
one,
severe
not
as it
much of
is, I
one.
think, right now.
Yeah,
And
over here it is pretty locked down.
yeah, and even if they say it's locked down, um, I probably am gonna go outside. I'm gonna drive over and go to the market, and I'm probably gonna find lots of people not giving a crap.
Yeah, not wearing masks and stuff. Anyway,
Or they wear it over their neck,
yeah. So
protecting their neck.
back to the thing. I have to determine a price. So I need to figure out what I need to do for like the book, what kind of what
Yeah.
version I should make.
Mhm.
There is I can make a paperback and I can make a hardcover, and with the hardcover I can get thicker paper, which is more premium, right?
Mhm.
So if I then there is the factor in there with the bookstores. So if I sell it through bookstores, which means that I can sell it through Amazon and all sorts of other places, like the it will people can buy it through other uh, bookstores because I
Mhm.
got an ISBN number, so they can order it. Um, Problem with that is that it raises the price. So for the paperback, it raises it about $10, €10, and for the hardcover, it raised by $16. But for me, this project is not to make money, right? So it's hard for
Mhm.
me to sell it over the cost price. So the problem with that is that if I have the bookstore option that makes it more available to people, it prevents me from not making any money on it. So if I were to go um, to the printer's store, it
Mm.
would still be the same price. It would $30 about $5, and I would
So
make money on it.
Yeah,
but
so
make
I
ten
mean,
bucks
this
on it.
is you have this sort of um it's like this success paradox, right? Sometimes the decision that makes the next book profitable or better is putting in the hands of people, and if you can't distribute it, it doesn't mean anything. Now, your goal is just because you're doing it for fun, and you want to make it available,
Yeah.
and
And
that's your
some
goal.
people ask me
Yeah,
for like, hey, I would like to have, like, if you're doing another book, like I would like to have it in physical form, just not just
right.
digital, because in digital form it's, it's there, but you have it on some sort of
But you
locker
can't have it
system
on your
somewhere. It's
coffee
very
table
annoying.
and share it with people and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, my book is not really coffee
Right, I
table
understand.
material,
It's
but
not a coffee table book that you're sharing
yeah.
with your parents, or your parents will be proud of and say, "Hey, look what my son did." Like, yeah, I get it. I understand that. This is not that kind of book. Um, but there is something to be said about, like, having a physical print of it, and
Yeah,
there are definitely going to be people who are interested in doing that because they like what you do.
yeah.
Um,
And
so, you could go independent, or you could go for a slightly higher scale. Does it become worth it? Is the question.
well, the thing is,
Ultimately, you got to break even. That's
if
what's important.
well, if I do print on demand, which is what I'm doing, it's going to be 24 bucks ish. 24 euros ish. But then the shipping comes in and it's like 35 bucks to send it to the US.
Right. So, is it a collector's edition, or is it for
Yeah,
everybody?
I think it's probably going to be just a couple of people that will have it, and but
And I think that is kind of what.
if I open up if I open it up and get an ISBN number, sell it through bookstores, I think maybe that would be probably be better. So if I just raise that price,
Mhm.
and then if they sell it, they buy it through the printer store, I would make some money on it. I'd still be down several hundreds of euros on like the cost of it already. So I wouldn't make any money on it anyway.
Right.
I might recoup some of the costs, but like for the amount of people that are gonna buy a physical book, it's not gonna happen.
Mhm.
But I'd still like have the availability of it. Um, if I were to do an offset print, I can do that because I have the right amount of pages. You need to have like a times eight. You need to have a number of pages times eight to have it be able to be offset print. I could have 400 copies printed, and they would cost me about $6 a piece, versus
Yeah.
24 euros cost for offset for on demand printing, which is this just insane. Like it makes the price for the book so much lower. I could sell it for like really cheap. And then most of the money would go into like shipping. Oh, it's so confusing. And then there's the whole, oh yeah, the bookstores have some sort of discount. And that's how they make their money. So bookstores, they get money off the book cost. So they would still be like 24 bucks to buy for the bookstores, but they sell it for 24 plus their cut, and then plus the discount. So they have,
Right.
um, and then um, I would get a cut of that, and the price that they do for print on demand is lower than I would get for print on demand. So if I were to buy it for 24, that's the price that um, that I would pay, but the bookstores get lower. And then there's some sort of weird thing behind the scenes where they make it all work. There's like one store that you, if I were to put a 35, I would make like 60 cents on every book. But if people would buy it for the 35 through the printer site, I'd make $10. That's how I calculate what the prices is going to be. But if I want to sell it through the bookstores, I would have to get it to the point where that one specific store that they reference would get a cut. So I would have to, it has to be positive on their end. It's just really
And you have
weird.
to have certain units moving for them to keep it on a shelf or
No,
even.
they're not going to keep it on shelf because it's still print on demand. So people would
Oh,
buy
okay.
it, and it would take a couple of days for it to be produced and then shipped out.
Hmm.
They would still like if I were to rally everybody and get everybody to buy the book on a specific date, then it would probably have been better if I were to do it like offset print. Then I could like ship it from my home, but I'd have like 400 books in my living room, and I don't know if I want that.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
bit much.
and then you're
And
putting all the work on yourself to do the shipping.
yeah, but that's not a big.
Sure,
I would have
but
to buy a
if you,
printer, but like
let's say you have the success paradox. I don't know what I was starting to say there. Um, and then how do you deal with so many, 200 books having to be shipped out? You got to deal with all
yeah,
that mess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I were to do that, it would cost me about $2,700. That's a little bit expensive. I don't want to spend $2,700 on this book. Maybe the next one I could do an offset print for like the same price. But I have to save up some money for that.
Yeah.
Maybe next year or something.
Yeah.
I'm already planning book 3, so yeah.
I mean, you could do it on demand, and if it's good enough, um, then maybe you plan, an effort to have people pre-order it, and then you can, put it in places like Amazon or something. Do an offset
Yeah,
print.
yeah. Anyway, enough book stuff. Do you want to go into the games, fun stuff, and music?
Yeah, I do, but I wanted to quickly just mention. So we talked about the Ember mug, Polymatic.link/WY. You also talked about your Cintiq stand, Polymatic.link/WX. So I want to make sure we got that in. Um,
Okay.
okay, so fun stuff, or other things. So I've been playing a game called The Battle of Polytopia. It's my buddy Paul mentioned it. He called it a 4X.
Yeah.
Explore, extrude, exterminate, and what was the other one? There's a fourth X, whatever.
I think one of them was expand, not extrude.
Um,
Explore, expand, something else.
exploit.
Maybe.
It doesn't matter. They call it a 4X. It's a 4X game. It's available in my car. It's available on my phone, and it's also available on my desktop. And I literally been like sort of ending the night with like spending, playing this game an hour, a couple hours, whatever it is. So polymatic.link/ww will take you over to Steam. It's much pricier for you to unlock all the things if you want it on your phone. There is definitely one of those special unlock tribes. I don't know, maybe there's a dozen, maybe there's like 15 tribes or something in it. They all have sort of different qualities and different sort of tech tree games, but basically, it's a simplified game where you basically iterate each turn, and
Yeah.
you move your players, and the idea is to dominate. Or there's creative modes on it. I haven't played the creative mode yet, so but I've been playing the game a lot and I like it. So
Hmm.
that's what I've been doing.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on to fun stuff. So the first one I have on the list. This is I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this channel before, Aaron's Animals, but
Yeah.
there was a new one. It's just absurd and I love it. Polymatic.link/WQ. This is Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. He does. Puts a lot of work into that stuff.
Yeah, and so they're like, "Oh, it's great CG work." It's like, well, yes and no. I mean, that is his real cat. The expressions obviously must be digitally altered, but they're taking pictures of his cat or his pets. Like, he's not just like fabricating their responses. Like, he does a really good VFX work on that. But some of them, or where he has his cat do stuff, and then he makes all that stuff happen. It's really great. I like it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It's funny.
Okay. It's Polymatic.link/WQ.
Yeah.
The Rat Review. This channel I've been following this channel on Twitter actually more, because the hourly rats or something like that. Rats every hour. Just pictures of rats. So Polymatic.WN. This is Rat Review, where a rat opens up not actually opens up, but like sniffs around a rat, sniffs around a Mario figurine or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but they check out the channel. They recently lost a rat, which is kind of sad. They had a rat called Theo that would like do rat reviews of food. They would go put some broccoli or whatever, and they would put the rat in and just let the rat eat the stuff, and then he would give them like basically like a dog rates, like the dog rates Twitter account. Have you seen that?
No.
Where they like rate dogs like a 14 out of 10. That kind of stuff, right? And
Yeah.
Polymatic links there's WN.
Okay. Or WN, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a little bit longer than just this, but I named a 3D printed bus. Interesting in technology, and where a lot of things are sort of happening with vehicles. But I thought it was interesting. It was on my long list of links. Polymatic.link/ws. Wanted to share that.
Okay. This is next one is a video that's on Tom Scott's
Mm-hmm.
channel. Polymatic links is WO, like the letter O. Failing a drugs test on purpose. It's like
Yeah.
poppy seed bagels. Yay! I think Mythbusters did the same thing at some point.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like a new thing, but yeah, I mean, I can go over to a market and get poppy seed bagels, no problem.
I really like a bagel, by the way.
Sorry, can't help you there. You're saying the Netherlands doesn't have good bagels?
Well, we do have bagels.
I mean,
just
in a
have
lot
to-
of places, even the ones you get frozen out of the supermarket, I always called them bregels. But a good bregel is pretty good.
Hmm.
But it's not a bagel. No, not at all.
Well, all the stores are closed right now, so you
Yeah.
wouldn't even
Well,
get to a bakery.
there's a bakery and actually I forgot I'll probably do it. Usually when I go out on Saturdays, I as long as I get there before 3 o'clock, I usually stop off at this bakery and I pick up fresh bread,
Hmm.
fresh something,
Yeah.
for challah. It was little
Well,
rolls.
all the freaking stores are closed except for the supermarkets.
Well, I guess right now, given
Yeah.
it's late.
Yeah.
So.
They're gonna probably extend the lockdown beyond the 18th. So they were
Oh,
they
really?
were like doing until the 18th, but like they're probably gonna extend it.
Hmm.
Okay, enough lockdown talk.
Yeah.
Next thing.
All right, so I follow this a brick experiment channel. I think the guy renamed it, but he does all these little things with Legos, and so he made a Lego car climb obstacles. And so you're thinking, okay, it starts out slow and you're like, whatever, but then you see the obstacles and you're like, is it gonna make it? Is it gonna make it? Oh, is that design gonna work? Oh, so I didn't get that excited about it, but I was just like rooting to see if the car change, if just a Lego car as he redesigns them could climb over these absurd obstacles that he put it through. Polymatic.link/WR.
Okay, next one is Vsauce. He's back.
Yeah.
Like the first new video in a half, like 6 months.
I never thought I would see him without a beard.
Illusions of Time, Polymatic link/WP.
Yeah. Okay, so there's this guy, I think it's Steve Geralt. He makes these pretty epic commercials. He makes these sort of he makes these, if you've ever seen this great amazing visually absurd effect with like alcohol or your soda or like you've seen Fruit Ninja the game, remember? Well, this guy literally has like made commercials where Fruit Ninja is like easy for him to do, and he does it with all the effects mostly real time. Very little of it is like computer made up, but he photographs these things real time, and he does them with robot arms. He's got crazy expensive robot arms, like the kind that they have in industry. He puts them to use to do all kinds of amazing photography
Yeah.
and cinematography. And so this was just a video that happens to focus on the guy. Daniel Schiffer does some pretty good stuff, but he doesn't use crazy technology like Steve Geralt does in his company. But anyhow, Polymatic.link/WT. How robots made this food commercial look effortless.
Oh, and then got another video for like a maker video. This one was a Russian guy, so it might
Mm-hmm.
be a good idea to turn on your the
Captions.
subtitles. That
Yeah.
really works. It kind of doesn't because some of the sentences don't make any sense, but like you get the gist of it.
Yeah.
He made a giant screw that works in both directions. So you have the screw; it has like these points on it,
Mm-hmm.
and they work in a nut that turns left or turns right,
Mm-hmm.
and that's actually pretty cool. I really like
Yeah,
how
I
he
was
did that.
watching this thing and I'm like, how does it work in different directions? I'm like, that should work, period. And then I was like, then I saw towards the end he had the different kind of nut that turns in the opposite direction and also works on the same threaded bolt.
Yeah. So Paul Mac links there's WM for that. It's
It's
pretty
not
cool.
really threaded though, it's more spiky. But it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
interesting though.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it works in a thread.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, okay, so uh, this is just a sort of off the beaten path a little bit, but New York Cooperage makes whiskey barrels. Polymatic.link/WU. Kind of interesting the process in making them and a little bit about whiskey barrel making and how it's sort of it's a dying thing. So
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, and I guess I got another one. Aptera Motors. So I'm always following a lot of the new EV stuff. So this is a long video, but this is basically a a company that basically a car company that is making a vehicle that's really a two-seater. It does have a lot of room. Look, it wouldn't be trunk space. It's more like you would consider it more like a hatchback, but it does have lots of room in the back. It looks like a small car. It's not a small car. It's about the size of any old standard car. It is a very efficient vehicle in terms of usage of power. It literally can power itself, depending on average commute, and it's solar powered. And it's Aptera Motors, and it's like an hour interview that
Hmm.
goes a little bit
Yeah.
in depth.
I think I've heard of Aptera before.
I definitely had seen them a couple times, and then I think they're really starting to. I think you can buy their cars now. They have I forget what they have a car that costs something like $50,000 that you can order that goes 1,000 miles.
Hmm.
So and again, it's not that like how are they doing this that Tesla can't do? It's nothing to do with that. It's usage of energy and its usage of its drag coefficient is so low.
Hmm.
It's incredibly well engineered vehicle, and they're kind of a new startup. Now,
Okay.
don't get me wrong, both these guys have done other things very successfully. So one of those guys is sort of borrowing his sort of technology and stuff that he invented and elevated a certain level of industry. So he's benefiting you know, from that.
Okay.
So, but
Paul
that
Mac
was it.
links slash WV.
Yeah, WV.
Okay, I've got two songs I liked in the recent weeks. Joe Zemple and Bethany Connerly. Um, the track is called Some Kind of Ghoul, Polymatic link slash WK. And Kin Leon, There Were Days, Polymatic link slash WL.
Yeah, and they both lead to Spotify. I really like the Kin Leon song. That was good. I like
Yeah,
that.
okay.
So I'm following that artist now.
Well, sometimes these suggestions they do lead to like following people, so
Yeah,
that's good.
uh I get the kind of sound that you listen to, which is stuff that's sort of background, so that you can work through your day or whatever it is. For me, I listen to a lot of particular tracks, but I'm usually listening to artists. I'm not usually listening to a lot of like instrumental or stuff that falls in sort of what I would consider ambient
Mm.
kind of music.
Which is kind of funny that you'd like the Ken Leon thing, because that's
Yeah,
more
no,
ambient.
I like it. Doesn't mean I don't know where that's gonna fit in my life. You know what I mean? The kind of music that I listen to works for me when I'm working as well as it works for me when I'm driving.
Yeah,
Right?
that's why I figured that you might have liked the other one, some kind of Ghoul song
Yeah, I don't
more.
know. It didn't appeal to me as much.
Hmm.
So
Interesting. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Let's close it up. I think, Alan, where can they find you?
you don't need to find me. I am on Twitter. I don't really say much. Polymatic. What am I saying? Polymatic. Twitter.com/CHAESS. That's my last name.
For me, you can find me on Twitter, twitter.com/webdevi. I also don't really say that much. So, WEBDEVVIE. For feedback, you can reach the podcast at Polymatic.media. Twitter is the Polymatic. Our website is Polymatic.media. And hope you tune in next time.